Hi, it's Randy Finch coming to you from New Taipei, Taiwan on Monday, March 30th. It's about 10:30 in the morning. This is the latest in a series of videos I've been making from Taiwan about COVID-19, and I'm going to try and take a different tack today. I know that the U.S. is suffering right now, and there's a lot of information and numbers. I'd like to talk a little bit about things I'm knowledgeable about, in particular teaching and live theater, and how they might be impacted by the coronavirus, both now and in the future, in particular in the future. I will not weigh you down too much with statistics today. You should know that 1 month ago, Taiwan crossed the 200 case threshold. As of today, there are 298 confirmed cases. Almost all of those new cases are what is in the second wave, or what's being called the second wave, of people returning from Europe and the US who've been infected, primarily Taiwanese citizens. Taiwan has been locked down to foreign visitors for about 10 days now. People with Taiwanese citizenship or permanent residency can enter the country, but they have to undergo a 14-day mandatory quarantine, whether they've got the illness or not. So one of the things that's been on my mind lately is what effect the coronavirus is going to have on our institutions. The institutions I know the best are probably teaching and the live theater, but also I've worked in motion pictures and consulted a bit with other businesses. And I have a feeling that all these institutions are due for a change. I think that, for example, the copyright law is going to need a re-look as it pertains to what people can put online and what they can't, as social distancing becomes increasingly a part of how we treat outbreaks, and I imagine there are going to be others. I also think that standards in the law may change, that previously people were able to say and do things in the United States online that they may not be able to say and do in the future. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but the impact of social media disinformation on what's happening in the United States right now is pretty severe, and I'm not advocating for this. I don't have a horse in this race, but I have a feeling that people are going to look again at how the platforms regulate content and what 24-hour news channels are able to say or not say. As you may have seen in my previous videos, cleaning crews are still working in the MRT and making sure that the facilities are clean. The subways are still running and people are still taking them, although as you'll see, everyone seems to be wearing a mask today. It is rare that you'll see someone in a public setting where there is going to be a confined space without a mask. I'm in the Shilin district of Taipei, which is a shopping district, and as you can see behind me, stores are open. In fact, the 4 stores behind me are all tea shops where you can get tea to go. Why they need 4 together, I don't know, but that's Taiwan, the home of bubble tea. So restaurants are still opening. They're preparing for lunchtime. There's a bakery here. and gift shops, etc. Taiwan continues not to require a lockdown of citizens, but I would not be surprised if in the third or fourth wave of this, social distancing becomes part of Taiwan's policy. Last time I posted a week ago, libraries were open. They were testing people's temperatures as they entered the libraries. Now, the libraries are closed, to my knowledge, and public buildings like schools continue to test temperatures, but one wonders how long that will continue. I'm going to link to an article in the description below this video that was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association on March 3rd concerning the measures that Taiwan took up to that date to combat the spread of COVID-19. I'm posting in part because there has been a lot of recent backpedaling by the U.S. officials saying that no one knew this was coming. We were given notice too late. That's not true. Taiwan alerted the World Health Organization in December and started taking measures in December to combat COVID-19. And this article describes in some detail how mobile devices and using the Universal Healthcare System's database has helped Taiwan to so far succeed in containing the spread. This doesn't mean that Taiwan is immune, far from it. Because the disease hasn't spread here, Taiwan will remain vulnerable until there is a treatment or a vaccine. So, as I've said elsewhere in this video, I anticipate that there will be additional measures needed to be taken. But right now I'm here on the streets of Shilin to show you that life goes on and that people are going about their daily lives here substantially unaffected, although many people, as you've seen, are wearing masks. This has very little to do with the subject of this video, but I just passed what the Taiwanese call a zaojian, a morning meal store, breakfast joint, and you can see that they're cooking Taiwanese-style breakfast. Wow. Those are soup dumplings, and they're also making eggs and other good, delicious things. So let's talk about how after COVID-19 has gone through its course, what will the world look like? And I have experience as an educator and as a theater producer, and I am concerned that post-COVID-19, those activities are going to be changed in significant ways. I think the willingness of people to gather in a Broadway theater, especially a Broadway theater where your knees are literally touching your neighbor's knees and there are 1,000 strangers watching a show, may be one of the last things to come online. I know we need theater. I'm a deep believer in theater, but I fear for the immediate future of Broadway theater and also the not-for-profit theaters that have been closed because of this virus. I also know as a lawyer and as an educator that many universities and other schools are switching to online education. That trend was inevitable and unfolding. I've been teaching for the last several years, coincidentally, courses that include crisis communication and the uses of social media in the 21st century. The move to online education is probably going to be hastened by this virus, and one wonders what's 21st education going 21st century education going to look like, it's pretty clear to me that there has been a lack of preparation in university administrations and among educators and students for this transition. The tools that we're currently using aren't really suited to this new paradigm. Zoom and things like that are good for certain things, but online education is different than face-to-face education in fundamental ways. One of these is that online education, in my experience, seems to work best when it's asymmetrical. And that means that the students and the faculty are not online at the same time. This is something of a paradox, but online education suits students who have busy schedules or working in the gig economy and can't necessarily make it to a class at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning. Also, it engages teachers in a different way. As a teacher of 20 students online, I am responding to every student almost every day. There are assignments almost every day. This means that the kids in the back of the room who would normally not engage with the teacher in a face-to-face education setting are getting a lot more attention. It probably is a net benefit for those students to be online. The use of materials online also differs from face-to-face education. The copyright law was written many years ago, has been revised as recently as what's called the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which was a revision around the millennium change in 2000 that was designed to protect creators who were finding their content posted online without permission. A problem with this for educators is that in face-to-face settings, you're allowed to use content in ways that you are not right now under the law allowed to use them online. For example, motion pictures, if you're teaching a course that requires a historical motion picture or teaching a film studies class, face-to-face you can show a movie to people, and it's pretty clear the law allows that in a classroom setting. But online, the DMCA forbids cracking the encryption that most DVDs have, and most streaming services say that showing a motion picture outside of a home setting is a violation of the license. So while face-to-face education was adapting, rather slowly, but adapting to this, the fact that the internet existed and motion pictures were being distributed that way, it's not clear to me that online educators have been given enough instruction about how to include motion picture clips, music, etc. in their online lectures. It's increasingly seems to be the rule in the United States and elsewhere that posting images in an online course, still images, is probably okay, but this question of motion pictures and music is complicated. So something to consider in the new world. And I'm actually someone who was initially skeptical about online education, but I've grown more fond of it. As I said, I'm reaching students who weren't getting reached in an online, in a face-to-face setting. Let me go see if I can find something cheerful to end this Monday, March 30th posting from Taiwan with. I've been trying to show you things that make me happy in Taiwan. One of them is this temple in the Shilin district. Yeah. I do think that the benefits of social media, of being connected with one another, of being able to show what's happening anywhere in the world in the times of crisis is something that we shouldn't underestimate. And so I'm grateful for this particular moment where I'm able to communicate from Asia. And again, there's a link below this video to an article in the Journal of American Medical Association about how Taiwan successfully handled the coronavirus so far. And I think it's really worth taking a look at if you're at all interested in how good governance and use of technology goes hand in hand. So I'm here in front of the historic North Gate in central Taipei, and just concluding this video with an expression of hope. The virus is spreading very quickly. I'm hoping that small acts of kindness can spread quickly too, that we can take care of the elderly, take care of the people who are alone or in need. I realize that many of you are frightened. I'm frightened. I have elderly parents and family members, but this will pass. And I'm going to start posting about the future as well, about how cultures can come back from these kind of changes. Something I know more about, honestly, than epidemiology or how to treat this disease. So thanks for listening. And again, it's March 30th here in Taipei, Taiwan. 谢谢你。谢谢。